Hi folks, I'm standing next to this little ornamental cherry tree here. About a year ago or so, it was on its way out, literally dying back. And come over here, let me show you some of the prunes we did. So it wasn't a small cut. We had a cut there, we had a cut here as well, and obviously taken a few other branches off along the journey. You can see over here. Now I've come back to visit it because I can see bud swell on it, and that's an indicator that the tree's got some energy in it. It's getting ready for spring, flowering. Now, if I go by past years, normally spring would be around late August, early September onwards. This has had the inclination to flower a lot earlier, so at the beginning of August. And the way it's swelling out here with the buds, it looks like with the warm weather, unusual warm weather that we're having, it may actually burst out early August again this year, which is not uncommon, but you know, we've had some cold days and the flowers can be spent quite quickly, so you don't get to enjoy it long enough. Now the other part here is, we still have a little bit of dieback. Actually two things. This one here first. Look at this. That is, his name's Krishna. Yeah, you know, I've spoken about him a few times in the past. Well, he comes here and nails his teeth on it, and maybe I've got to get the tooth fairy out again and grind his teeth back a bit more. But nevertheless, we'll deal with that. That hasn't killed this branch off. But this one over here, we have got some more dieback. So we're not out of the woods yet. See this? Shrinkage. Now, I need you guys to go home and check your trees out, whether they're ornamental or fruiting. You start to see these wrinkling effects. It's almost like an old branch, but it's still quite young. You can see the diameter, it's quite small, smaller than my little finger. Now that shrinkage or wrinkling is because of shrinkage, and there's a bit of blackness in it. See that dark colour coming through there? That's an indicator to tell you that this branch is on its way out, if not already. Now have a look at this. Brown wood inside. That's the first sign that you've got to look for. If you're pruning it back, obviously. So it's brown inside, that's dry as, and if you snap it with your fingers and it's brittle, and you also look inside and it's dark brown, or even just brown with no moisture, well, that's telling you it's dry. It's literally dead. And what you need to do is you work from the extremity, so you work your way back. So sometimes you can't tell exactly how dead it is or how far back it's died. For example, here. This is just a basic example of what you've got to look for on a tree that's got some dieback. You can tell automatically. Now I'm going to cut a fresh one. I'm going to sacrifice a fresh one, and let me do it over here because this is a part I want to remove. And you can tell automatically. Look at the difference in the tips here. Have a look how dry that is and shrunken by comparison to that. It's really plump and juicy looking, ready to burst out in flower. Now I'll cut this one off. Have a listen. Sounds the same, that's fine, but have a look at the colour difference. Can you see that lime green colour just under the outer skin? That's the cambium layer, and that's where the moisture is. That's where the new layer is basically growing from. So every year it grows a new ring, and it's lime green just on the inside to show you how alive it is. Whereas that side there, it's dead. And in saying that, folks, there are certain trees in the garden that when they're dormant will actually look like they're dead, but in fact they are very much alive. So research your tree before you start pruning, and you end up pruning the wrong branch. And when it comes to pruning, a fruit tree that is, if you wanted to establish more growth on it, that is shaping it all rather than just the fruit. And with this cherry tree, I do love the flowers on it, but I'm more concerned about the shape of it. So I'm going to try and establish more growth on it. And in saying that, the cherry tree will flower first. So comes August, late August, we're going to see the flowers come and establish on this, followed by the leaves, which will come out in early springtime. And as we progress into summertime, you're going to see some summer growth on it. So there's a couple of opportunities there through that growing season where we can do another prune on it. So in this case here, I don't have a lot to prune off the tree. See all this spindly new growth coming on here? That's okay at the moment, but I need to focus in getting more energy out of that without taking off too much from the plant. So rather than cutting it right back to here, which, one part of me says, yeah, I should take advantage of it there, I'm going to come back here first. I'm going to start with this section here, which is enough for now. We'll get the flowers on the tips of these little branches here. And I can take them off as well, folks. Look at this. I can actually take all this off and focus on these little stubs, which will probably be better in the long run. And I'm only sacrificing a couple of tips. I'm not going to go all the way back there. I'll come back there. And this one I'll take off completely because I've got a double going on. That's all I'm going to do with that there. I'll leave this on because I want to see the flowers come up. So I do want to enjoy it. You don't have to go so hard. This branch here, can you tell? There's nothing on the end there. Dead already. Come back to here and cut it off completely. And Always clean secateurs. I'm using a bypass, well, not a bypass, this is an enveloper. This is the Lowy or Lowe's #1. Favorite tool, cuts like a gem. Back to the pruning. That's out of shape. The horse has damaged this branch here. So, and that's a bit of dead wood there. So we'll cut it back to this bud that's facing in, but that's okay. Hopefully we get some more growth out of this section here. This is the dead one that we talk about. Now let's see how good these tools are. We're going to cut it off right here, and it's about the max you can go in diameter. And this is pretty hard wood too, folks. If this was a bypass secateur, I guarantee you I wouldn't be able to cut it. Let me put this down and get a good grip of it. Wow, that's dead. Now I'm concerned that hasn't died any further back, and I can't tell at the moment, so we're just going to have to monitor that. Up here, we're going up way too high, so we're going to bring it back down to here for now, like that. Look at this. Oh, if you come from here, come over this side, come over, look at this. It looks like it's growing from here, because I couldn't see the buds behind it, going all the way there. So I was about to say, have a look at this branch, but there it is. In fact, it's still going in the wrong direction. It doesn't matter, we'll leave that for now. That's not hurting anybody. Let's come around here. Now, that's been cut back up there, and again, it's way too high. I should bring it down to here. Oh, this is touch and go for me, because we've got some good, but we've got more growth here. So ideally, what I should do is take it off to here, back to here. All right, we're going to do it. Let's sacrifice it. We're going to put some energy back into this plant. All right, and here now, let's cut that off. Have a look at that. That looks ugly, doesn't it? It's just really lanky. So we'll cut this back, cut that off there. All right, so springtime, this is what I'm anticipating. I hope to get some growth on this side. We've got a little bit here. This is a little bit high, but I'm just going to leave it for now. Oh no, I'm not. Bugger it, just take it off. For you guys at home, there you go. We get a bit more growth coming out of here after it flowers, and that'll be around, look, if it's not in springtime, it'll be in summertime, and then we can come back and revisit it and see if we can bring it back into shape again. Now, this tree was on its way out. You can see the bark cracking on the trunk there. It's leaning over. That tree, by comparison in the distance, is much better. Again, that needs to come down to about this height as well. We'll do that for another segment, but for now, this is what you're going to do with your trees. Get out there, check them out, and monitor them. If you need to shape them for better growth, start pruning now. If you're going to shape them so you can get more productivity, you're going to have to wait around late summertime after you've harvested the fruit off the trees. And for young trees and apricots, it's better in summertime, not in winter. So check it all out on our website, folks. If you like these little tools like this one here, the Lowy #1, they're on special today. I don't know what the discount is, but you're going to get a hell of a good discount on them. It's vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasily, Maresi. Don't cut my tongue off. I can't talk anymore.